Holy shit, you guys. Attack on Titan 21 was not the second coming of Jesus. Calm down. It was just as bad as the last few episodes. In fact, if anything, it was worse. It's just ridiculous. This isn't even scripted, and I'm going to explain to you why it was worse. I mean, to be fair, the episode started off alright. It seemed like it was actually going to be better than the last two episodes. It felt like it was actually going somewhere. I mean, Eren was running away with Levi's platoon, trying to get away from the female Titan, especially after it transformed. And Eren was contemplating, going into his Titan form and taking it out. But the rest of the platoon was telling him, no, don't do it. You just gotta trust us. We can totally take care of this. You gotta trust us, just like you did last time when we were riding away on the horse. You gotta just trust us. We can do this. And that was fine. Like, it could tell that there was a struggle within Eren. They were actually sort of starting to develop him. And the fact that it was who do you trust? What's the right decision? There is no right decision. You gotta make these snap decisions and then live with it. And so Eren decides that he's gonna trust them and goes off. And then bad things start to happen in the show. Well, actually, to be fair, even before that, bad things started to happen. In fact, the trust speech itself was kind of bad, considering, like, what was it, last episode? We saw a flashback where the platoon didn't trust Eren at all. It was so dumb, because they started off being all, oh, Eren, you're one of us, oh, don't worry about us, man. And then they're eating food, and he accidentally transforms his arm into a Titan arm to grab the spoon or fork or whatever it was. And they're all immediately turn on him, and they're like, oh, confirm you're humanity's ally. And I mean, it would be one thing if they were joking, but they weren't joking in that scene. They genuinely were going to, like, murder him. So then, the fact that the next episode, we learn that they're trying to tell him to trust them, is like, oh, well, that's lovely hypocrisy. You couldn't trust him, but you're gonna ask him to trust you. Whatever, assholes. So, that was dumb. But that was just a little minor thing that I noticed that was irritating to me. And I figured, other people could probably pass it off. And then the general problems start popping up. See, when the platoon goes to attack, the female Titan, and they're doing a decent job, and they're going after her, even though you can totally tell in the back of your head that they're totally gonna fucking die, because everyone dies in this goddamn show. I figured it was just gonna be a simple thing, because Eren was, saying, oh, I trust you, and he was going off trusting them to do the job, and then what would happen is, they would just get wiped out instantly with no dramatics, and it was just done. And then he would just be like, wow, that just happened. The fact that it didn't have it be overdramatic would have been a major plus, because then it would have just shown how futile their attempts were, and how wrong Eren's decision was. But no, instead they gotta have shit fly at the Titan, and she kills them one by one with dramatic chanting in the background, and make everything as dramatic as possible, because why the fuck not? Dramatic music can make things less dramatic. It can actually ruin dramatic scenes. I went over this with Clydad, you should know. Well, if you watch the videos. Anyways, so that was the problem, and then Eren realizes he made a mistake. So it was going alright at first, because then Eren gets pissed, and he transforms, and he's gonna kick this female Titan's ass so hard, and it's just, it makes sense at first, because it's like, holy shit, it's been 21 episodes, and they're finally developing Eren. He's realizing that he made a wrong decision, and now he needs to live with that decision. They can have this affect him for the rest of the entire story, constantly wondering whether to trust people. Holy shit. I'm not completely sold on Eren yet, but this is a good starting block for him. And then he loses the battle. Yep. Why does him losing the battle ruin everything? Well, okay, let me point it out for you. See, the point of him having made the wrong decision and sending the troop out was because it was, oh, well, he made the wrong decision, obviously. If he went Titan, then everything would have gone okay. So, if anything, the best way of the show should have gone would be he transformed into a Titan, and then within, I don't know, a few minutes, maybe even a single minute, he's beaten the female Titan and ready to go. Because then he would have won, but at the same time, he still wouldn't have felt like a victory to him, because he had made the wrong decision and lost the entire platoon. So yeah. That didn't happen. Instead, they fight for like, what, 7, 8, 9 minutes? Something like that. And then he ends up losing anyways. So this completely ruins any development they could have given him, because that means that either way wasn't going to win. So the platoon would have gotten wiped out no matter what. Whether he went Titan form and fought with the platoon, they still would have lost. So therefore, Eren didn't technically make a wrong decision. There was no right decision to make to begin with. So technically, there's also no wrong decision. There can really only be a wrong decision if there's a right decision you can make. And they basically completely destroyed that. So he would have lost either way, so any development that could have come out of him making the wrong decision, having to live with that, is now forfeit. Because now he knows that both ways was not going to win. Hooray! And then the fucking cliffhanger happens. You know, it'd be one thing if it had never happened before, but this is the second time Eren has gone into another Titan's mouth. I mean, I don't know if she fucking ate him or she's just transporting him inside her mouth or whatever the fuck. But seriously, she puts him in his mouth and it's just like, wait a minute. I think I've seen something like this before. Didn't Eren get out of that kind of situation before? So yeah, using something that's already happened before as a cliffhanger doesn't really work when it's a situation Eren has already gotten out of. God damn it. Also, going back for a minute, quality, non-scripted video, the platoon getting wiped out was stupid in another sense, not just because it was, you know, overly dramatic. The over-dramatized stuff, you know, ruined it in the way I said, but also ruined it in another way that I forgot to say. Because we don't give a fuck about anyone in that platoon. Literally, the total screen time all of those people have had so far in the show that we've gotten to know them is like, what, 10 minutes? I mean, sure, they've been around longer episodes, but as far as actually seeing them and hearing them talk and getting to know them, like, what, 10 minutes total airtime each? Usually all at the same time? It's fucking stupid. I don't give a shit about any of these people. And they're all dead now. It's like, oh, okay, whatever, fuck it. I guess that one guy was kind of an asshole. I guess that's kind of a good thing he's dead. I don't care about any of these other people. What, you're supposed to feel sad because the girl died? I don't give a fuck. I don't know who she is. I know her name's Petra. That's about it. Or Petra, however the fuck they pronounce it. Petra. I don't care. I don't know these people. They've just been around for like 10 minutes total airtime. I've only gotten to know them for 10 minutes. And getting to know them is used very lightly as a phrase. I don't know these people, and they just got killed, and I'm supposed to give a shit, apparently. But I don't, because I don't know them. I mean, I thought this is something only Ki did. Isn't Ki and Kyoto Animation the only people who are supposed to think that doing bad things to little girls instantly makes you sad even if you don't know who the fuck they are? Because they're just little girls, and so it's sad because they're little girls? Like, is that a thing now? We just assume that if bad things happen to women or small children that are female, that we'll automatically feel sad even if we have no idea who the fuck they are? What if they grow up to be murderers? What if they are murderers? You know, who the fuck? Like, I don't know these people. I don't give a shit. I mean, if it was real life, it'd be sad. It'd be sad if anyone died in real life. Because people do die in real life, it's always sad. But this is fiction. It's not real. You need to have your audience connect to the characters. You have to make them give a fuck. At least show that they're nice people at the very basics. You know, have them be like, oh, these are nice people. And then have them die. And then it's like, oh, now there's less nice people in this story. You know, at least then that would be kind of sad. Instead, I don't even know who the fuck these people are. I just know that they fought with Levi for however long they've said. They probably haven't even said how long. You know? Who gives a shit? I don't know them. It's... This is actually a problem with the show in general I'm going to go over when I eventually review it. And the fact that even the main characters, well, I mentioned Eren almost got developed this episode, but... You know... I don't care about any of the main characters. Eren, Mikasa... The blonde kid, I don't even remember his name anymore. I don't give a fuck about them, because they haven't done anything. Well, I mean, they've done some stuff, and yet they've somehow still managed to remain personality-less. Congratulations. So yeah, this episode was, worse than the last two episodes of Titan, so I don't know why people are spazzing the fuck out. Was it just because there was lots of dramatic music and lots of dramatic punching? Because Eren finally went Titan form? I'll admit, the fact that they're not going too overboard on the Titan form is a good thing. You know, if he was always in Titan form, it would lose the kind of shine and luster it had. You know, by actually spacing out the times when he goes Titan and fights with stuff, it actually makes it more dramatic each time, because there's been a time gap. So that's nice. But punching itself is boring. Fights themselves are boring. You need to have context. You know, two characters fighting each other for whatever reason is just superficial on the most basic sense. You need to know why they're fighting, what the purpose behind it is, you know, why each punch is being thrown, why each kick is being thrown, their mindset at the time. Because then basically their physical activities are essentially also verbal or mental attacks, trying to convince the other person of whatever they're trying to say or do or whatever. It's the context behind the fights that makes them so intense and fascinating. Not just the raw eye candy of people punching each other in the face.
That's why Attack on Titan 21 was stupid.